Hey everyone! A while ago, I got accepted into Sheridan's Bachelor of Animation for the graduating year of 2024 with a score of 100. Many of you have asked to see my portfolio for research purposes, and it's finally here. First things first, here's my score sheet. I was very surprised to find a perfect score because this was my first time applying and I did not enroll into any mentorship programs when making my portfolio. I did, however, join a Discord group for Sheridan Hopefuls, which is a server for fellow aspiring Sheridan students like yourself. I would highly recommend any new aspiring Sheridan student to join because that's where I got to meet, chat, and get valuable insight during the whole process. Links will be in the description below. This video took a while because it was pretty difficult for me to talk about since I wasn't able to attend due to financial reasons, but I'll try my best to stay as neutral as I can. I will be providing some general tips, but if you have any further questions, feel free to chat with me at twitch.tv/mymoon, where I stream on most days. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at my portfolio. First up, we have figure drawing. For the year of 2020, the requirements were 2 short poses ranging from 1 to 3 minutes, and another 2 long poses ranging from 5 to 20 minutes. The short poses should be smooth and focusing in motion, whereas the long poses should be more structured and refined. I think this category is pretty straightforward, and it's usually always the same every year. It's probably best to start early and practice drawing using a piece of conte or chalk. There are a bunch of videos online and books to help you get started, which I will also be linking down below. Because of the pandemic, many have been unable to attend still life classes, which is why drawing from pictures were allowed this year. But I don't recommend this long term as to not become too accustomed to this. Next up, we have hand drawings. This is also another recurring category that's usually comprised of an anticipating pose followed by an execution pose. This year, the theme was a hand holding or gripping a small object and followed by the hand releasing or tossing said object. Try to keep the 2 drawings in the same angle to show a continuation of the action. You can include some construction lines, but try to keep them light as to not overshadow the main lines, make it appear nice and tidy. An appealing pose and angle could help tremendously, so might I suggest taking photos of your own hand to use as a reference. Moving on, we have character rotations. This is an animation program after all, so it would only be natural that you'll be drawing a character over and over again. Hence, this will be a good practice to help familiarize yourself with the character's shapes and volumes. Try to begin with simple shapes and forms before adding in details. A good character should always have a clear and distinct shape, which is always important and a recurring aspect of character design. Next one's gonna be short animation. The objective here is to try to create a short animation of at least 24 to 48 images. Any medium was acceptable here, and neither color nor shading was necessary. The prompt for this year was a cartoony walkie-talkie. I chose to animate in 3D for this segment, but feel free to do it in 2D, either digitally or traditionally. A great guide to begin animating is everyone's favorite, The Animator's Survival Kit by Richard Williams. This is basically a Bible for animation and definitely a must-read if you intend to further animation. Now here comes the tricky part, storyboarding. The theme for this year was Beauty is Only Skin Deep, which is pretty similar to the one last year, which is Don't Judge a Book by its cover. We were given a template of 4 panels to fill in, and a little space below for a short description. Personally, I think here's where many struggle to score efficiently, because this part does cover many aspects of not only framing and poses, but as well as a little bit of filmmaking. The goal here is to try and tell a short story as clearly as possible using only 4 panels, by manipulating different compositions and expression of characters. For example, I would use a bird's eye view in the second panel to showcase the little girl begging, hence making her appear smaller or weaker. Then reversing the narrative after she steals a popcorn by using a low angle shot which makes her appear larger and more in control. Up next, we have layout. In this category, we were instructed to make 2 drawings. One drawing is of a linear perspective, usually indicating indoors, and the other is of a landscape perspective, usually a little outdoorsy. Nothing much to say here for this part, but to try and learn the natural laws of perspective. Composition can somewhat help your drawing to appear more appealing, but what's most important here is your understanding of perspective and line of sight. I would highly recommend having loads of references when drawing a scene to help fill in the empty spaces. Lastly, I think this is everyone's favorite segment, personal artworks. Here, we're free to do whatever we want and present our best works. A tip that I got from fellow hopefuls was to try and include some variety to help diversify your ability. Keep in mind, you want to try and shine in comparison to the hundreds of other applicants alongside you, and being a jack of all trades just shows that you're open to learn and improve, which is exactly what Sheridan is for. I would highly recommend you choose your best works and most recent ones to best represent the current you. That wraps up my portfolio application. I hope it was somewhat helpful to you, and best of luck. My final tip of advice would be to try and start as early as you can, but I completely understand that the concept of making an entire portfolio for the very first time can be daunting. But I assure you, you're not alone, and it will be well worth it. Try to do a little every day. And remember, art is not perfect, and I don't think it's meant to be perfect. Honestly, a messy portfolio is still gonna be better than an empty one. Again, if you ever have any questions or just need someone to hang out with while you work, you can find me at twitch.tv/mymoon.